We can set a unique index for a field in a feature layer or table in ArcGIS Online, and we're going to do that using the ArcGIS API for Python. When we apply the unique index for a field, you cannot have duplicate values in that field. So let's check it out. Open up the unique index.py script from the fields folder. We're going to set a unique index for a field which disables duplicate attributes. We will use the FeatureLayerManager add to definition method to achieve this. We first access ArcGIS Online using our GIS class and supplying in our home string. We'll assign our GIS object to a variable called AGOL. We'll then use our GIS object and access the content manager and use the get method supplying in our feature service item ID, which I'll paste in now from my notepad. Get method returns an item object that will assign to a variable called item. We are interested in our park boundaries layer, so we're going to use the item object and access the layers property, which returns a list of feature layer objects. Our park boundaries feature layer sits at index 2, and we'll assign our feature layer object to a variable called FL. We want to set a unique index field for the park name field in our park boundaries feature layer. Here I'm creating an index field dictionary. This dictionary has a property called name, which we're going to call pname_index. The fields we are setting this unique index for is our park name field. IsUnique is set to true. Yes, we do want this field to be unique. Set a description to park name index. The description is optional. It'll be an empty string if we do not set it. I'll set an index type to attribute. This is also optional as it will default to attribute if we do not set it. Create a variable called status. We set that to equal the calling of our feature layer object. We're accessing the FeatureLayerManager object and using add to definition method. We set our JSON dict to be a dictionary. Here we're accessing the indexes property, and we saw this indexes property when we created our original feature service and added the layers and tables. We set a primary key using the object ID. That indexes property is a list, so we're using a list here inside the dictionary, and inside that list we are setting our index field dict. Now I could set the index field dict up here to be a list with dictionaries inside and just use the variable here rather than encasing it in a list in the parameter. We'll then print status to screen to see if we are successful in adding our index. Before running, I'll pop on over to ArcGIS Online. I'm going to go to the settings tab for the feature service and scroll down, and we see we have manage indexes. If I click into field indexes, and if I click for our park boundaries, we can see the current indexes. We have some shape indexes. We have our object ID primary key index that we set when creating the feature service and this layer, and a few more there for our global ID and our editor tracking, but no sign of our pname_index that we're going to add when we run the script. So I'll head back to our Python script and do that, and I'll run. We got success true, indicating that we were successful in adding our index. I'll comment out our first example, and I will print the indexes for our feature layer to screen. We can see our list of indexes were printed to screen, and our last one there is the one that we newly added, which is our pname_index. So I'll head over to ArcGIS Online and reconfirm. Refresh the page. I'll scroll down to manage indexes, and in our field indexes I will go to our park boundaries, and if I scroll down we now have our pname_index that shows we have successfully added a unique index for our park name field in our park boundaries feature layer. This means that no park name can be the same, and just so you know, null counts as a value, so you cannot have two null values for the name of a park name. Make sure to continue on to the next video in this series, and also make sure to subscribe. Take care.